Hello and welcome to our classroom environment. So this is more or less what you'll see during our classes from my video window. Okay, so you'll see that at the top of the screen we've got my video output. Sometimes I will share my screen with you, maybe show you videos and things, so it's not always just me looking at you. And then at the bottom there's another section, and here you have all your controls. And that's what we're going to look at now in this part of the video. We're going to go step by step at each of them and showing how you can set them up and what they're for. So follow me through and let's have a look at those. So here we are at the bottom of the screen, and the first thing that we have available to us are the audio controls. And this is split into two parts. So first we have the big mute button. This button allows you to stop your microphones working or to enable your microphone during our class. You can also achieve exactly the same thing on your keyboard using the shortcut Control and A. So Control and A for control and audio will stop and start your microphone, stop and start your audio output. If you want to configure and change the settings of your audio, then this little box here, you've got the little upward arrow that opens this settings section. Split into two main parts. So at the top up here, you've got where you want your sound to come from. Okay, so which microphone do you want to use if you have more than one option? Underneath that, we've then got where do you want your sound to come out of. So maybe you've got headphones, maybe you've got different speaker systems set up on your computer. So there you can choose the option that you want. And then underneath you have the option to also test. So to play some test sounds to make sure everything's working properly. And also at the bottom, some more advanced audio settings as well. So that's how we configure our audio output, and remember, like I said, we also have the option to use Control and A on the keyboard as another way to open and close your microphone. Okay then, so our next stop is the video settings. Okay, so now moving along a little bit, we have the video settings. So these work in the same way as the audio settings, and you'll see we've got two parts. We have the main stop start button over here. This time you can activate this with Alt and V. So we had Alt and A to start or stop our audio output or turn the microphone on and off. We now have Alt and V to start and stop the webcam or to start and stop your video output. So that's using the big button there or the keyboard. Next to that button you'll notice that you've got another little up arrow, and this lets you choose where your video output is being taken from. So if you've got more than one web camera, you can choose the one you wish to use here. And then just like audio, we've got some more advanced video settings underneath where you can make a few extra adjustments there too. Alright then, so that's fairly simple. Remember Alt and A to start and stop your audio on the keyboard, and Alt and V to start and stop your video on the keyboard. Next up, we have screen share settings. So this enables you to show me what's on your screen. Maybe you've prepared a presentation. Maybe you have some interesting images that you want to share with me. This is how we do it. So we're going to have a look, and going along the bottom of the screen, we were over here before with the audio and video settings. Now we're in the middle and the screen share option. So this button works in the same way as the other two. It's split into two parts, the main start stop and also a little extra settings arrow at the side. And just like with the audio and the video, there's a keyboard shortcut. So we had Alt and A for audio on and off, Alt and V for video on and off, and now we have Alt and S for sharing on and off, screen share on and off. So let's have a closer look at what happens when we press the button. So when we press that main start stop of screen share or Alt and S, we get this little window come up, and this gives us the options of what to share. We can share everything that's showing on one of our screens. So here on my computer I have two screens, which means I've got two window options to show you. And we also, in addition to that, we can have a digital whiteboard. If you have an Apple device, so an iPad or an iPhone, you can show me what's on your telephone or iPad if you have the application installed, meaning you can work from your computer but also have your iPhone or iPad displaying some information. But most importantly is you can show one individual window, so not everything that's on your screen. Maybe you've got a Word document that you've prepared you want to show me, or there's a web page that's interesting to our class. That's where these bottom ones appear. These are the application windows on your computer. You can select the one that you want to share. Important to note is if you are sharing a video with me, there's two extra options at the bottom of the screen here. So we have the first one to share audio or the sound from your computer. So if you're playing back video or an audio file, that you'll want to click when you're preparing the settings. And also the second option is to optimize for a full screen video clip. So if you were showing me some video, that could also be worth sharing with me. Okay, so remember Alt and A for audio on and off, Alt and V for video on and off, and Alt and S for screen share on and off. Now the next feature we have on our menu bar that we're interested in is the option for the chat window, and that's located next to the screen share button. And guess what? There's a keyboard shortcut and Alt and C for chat. So in addition to the other ones we've had, Alt and C is a useful one to remember. We use the chat box if there's some little comments I want to make. Maybe there's some pronunciation and I can show you some of the syllables, how a word is broken down, or I can put some model text into the chat box for you to follow, or some comments on something you've said. The chat box is something we use fairly frequently during our classes, so you'll probably want to have that open. And like I say, that's accessed at the bottom of the screen. So let's have a look what that looks like when you open it. Now in the full screen view, you'll see at the side of the page that chat box has opened up, and at the bottom down here is where you can type in messages to me, and then they appear in this area here, and we'll have the conversation saved. After a class, when we have been using the chat box, I will send you a text file with all the information that we had in the chat box, along with your video recording of the class and your written feedback as well. So that information is saved and you'll have access to it again after your class is finished. And the last thing I want to show you in the classroom, it's very sad, but all good things come to an end, including our classes. So you want to know how to leave the class at the end of the class. There's the obvious way of closing the web browser window or the application window, but the correct way of closing it is right at the end here. You'll see there's an end meeting button. Click on that and that will finish the call. You might get a message just to check that's what you want to do if you want to end the call. And then when you finish, there will be a little icon, thumbs up or thumbs down, to the video and audio quality experience you've had. So was the video good? Could you hear me clearly? Did everything work well as it should? You can put in your feedback to the company using that. Okay then. There was quite a lot of information there, and it's difficult to get a total handle of these things unless you've tried it for yourself. So before you go into the real classroom with me, you also have the option of doing a practice meeting, having a look at the interface, the software, making sure it's all set up and configured, and getting familiar with the environment. As you'll see, we have the option here to follow this web address. So www.tryclassroom.glynsenglish.online. That will take you to a test classroom and a screen like this one, where you can click on the blue button and you will enter a classroom like what we've seen on the previous slides. You can check that all your audio and video systems are set up and working as you want, and you can just get familiar with the controls of the classroom. All of that before your first class. So we're not going to lose out on time during the class, and our class time can be as effective as possible. So that's an option for you if you want to try it out before. That brings me to the end of this video, and I'm sure you've seen getting into our classroom and using the classroom system is incredibly easy. There's also a lot of support and help if you do need anything. So remember that you can email me here at english@glyn.online and I will get back to you by the end of the day. Also, if you have anything particular about using the video system, you also have the main support page on the Zoom website, so support.zoom.us. There you should get answers to all of your questions, and like I said, feel free to email me to get a little bit of extra support. All that's left is to say that I look forward to seeing you in our classroom, and I hope this video has been helpful to you. Bye for now.